You are free at home, and unfortunately you happen to join a bad group. If you are a boy, you'll end up starting to smoke. If you're a young girl out there, unfortunately you might end up with an early pregnancy or a forced marriage. I want to motivate you. Please be optimistic, have a lot of hope. Read a lot, go online. There are a lot of learning materials online. Download as much as you can, revise.
Hey viewers, welcome to today's lesson. I'm Madam Kirinzo.
Fly to the sky, fly, fly, fly. Take me up high, fly, green butterfly.
I'm going to take you through mathematics, and today we are going to look at the topic whole numbers. So first of all, before we continue, I want to introduce to you the subtopic multiples. So what are multiples? Multiples are the numbers that we obtain after multiplying at least two numbers. Multiples are the numbers that we obtain after multiplying at least two numbers. So by the time at least two numbers, it means that you can multiply even 3 numbers, 4 numbers, up to whichever number that you feel like. But here I'm going to start with the 2 numbers. Like the 2 numbers, that is 2 multiplied by 3. We get the answer 6. And then another number, if you multiply 3 by 5, you will get 15. And then 3 by 4 will get 12. So these numbers, that is number 6, number 15, and number 12, these are what we call multiples. I hope it's clear. So I'm going to take you through our first example, that is find the first 6 multiples of 2. Find the first 6 multiples of 2. So to begin with, you will start by 0. Any number, if you start any number, make sure you start by 0. So the first 6 multiples of 2, you will start by 2 times 0, you will get 0. 2 times 1 will get 2. 2 times 2 will get 4. 2 times 3 will get 6. 2 times 4 will get 8. 2 times 5 will get 10. So these are the first 6 multiples of 2. This is the first one, the second one, the third one, the fourth, the fifth, and the sixth. So the first 6 multiples of 2 will be 0, 2, 4, 6, 8, and 10. Remember, at the beginning we have said multiples are the numbers that we obtain after multiplying at least 2 factors. So in here we have multiplied 2 by 0, 2 by 1, 2 by 2, 2 by 3, 2 by 4, 2 by 5. So the answers that we have obtained after multiplying these numbers are what we call multiples. Hope it's clear. We are going to our second example. And in our second example, we are told to look for, write the next 3 multiples of 4 after 28. The question is, write the next 3 multiples of 4 after 28. So before we go to the 28, we are going to first look at the numbers that are before the 28. So we shall start by 4 times 0. That will be 0. Remember, any number multiplied by 0 is 0. Then 4 times 1 will get 4. 4 times 2 will get 8. 4 times 3, we get 12. 4 times 4, we get 16. 4 times 5, we get 20. 4 times 6, we get 24. 4 times 7, we get 28. Before we continue, let us go back to our question, which states the next 3 multiples of 4 after 28. So we are at 28. So the question wants us to give out the next 3 multiples after 28. So meaning, if we are here at 28, we'll go 3 more steps. That will be 4 times 8, which will give us 32. 4 times 9, which will give us 36. 4 times 10, which will give us 40. So after 28, these are the next 3 multiples. That is, we have gone 3 other steps. That is 4 times 8, which is 32, 4 times 9, which is 36, and 4 times 10, which is 40. So our next 3 multiples after 28, it will be 32, 36, and 40. Hope it's clear. Fill in the missing multiples. Fill in the missing multiples. So the multiple is, the number is 6. So we have been given 24, then dash, then 36, and then 48, and then so we are asked to fill in the next multiple. So first of all, before you start filling the gap, you have to ask yourself, which number have we multiplied by 6? Remember, 6 here is our key number. So which number have we multiplied by 6 in order to get 24? So the number that you have multiplied by 6, it is 4. So meaning 6 times 4, it has given us 24. So meaning the next gap, it will be the next number. So if we have multiplied 6 times 4 and we have the 24, here we don't know. Then 36, meaning 36, we are going to ask ourselves, which number have we multiplied with 6 so that we have got the 36. So it is 6 times 6 to get 36. And here we don't know. And then the next step, we are also going to ask ourselves, which number have we multiplied with 6 so that we came up with the 48. That is 6 times 8. Hope I'm not sure. So if here we have multiplied by 4, here 6, here 8, meaning we are going step by step. So here if we have multiplied by 4, meaning here we'll also multiply by 5, then by 6, and here by 7. So it's going step by step. So here it will be 6 times 5 to get 30. So meaning here our next multiple after 24, it will be 30. And then the next gap is 36. So we have multiplied 6 times 6 to get 36. So meaning the next gap will multiply 6 times 7. So 6 times 7 will get 42. So meaning the next gap here we have 42. And then the next step we have multiplied 6 by 8 to get 48. So meaning the next step will multiply 6 times 9, which will give us 54. So our next multiple here will be 54. So coming back to our question, the missing multiples, it will be 30, 42, and 54. Hope it's clear. And then we are going to take it to our fourth and final example. and we are told to write the first 4 multiples of 2 and 6. Write the first 4 multiples of 2 and 6. So we are going to start with the multiple of 2. We are told to list the first 4. So we are going to start with 2. It is 2 and 6. We are going to start with 2. So the first 4 multiples of 2 will start by 0. That is 2 times 0 will get 0. Remember, I've said any number multiplied by 0 is 0. And then 2 times 1, which will be 2. 2 times 2, which will be 4. 2 times 3, which will be 6. So these are the first 4 multiples of 2. Number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4. So these are the first 4 multiples. So the first 4 multiples of 2 is 0, 2, 4, and 6. Remember, you are not asked about the numbers that you multiply. You are only looking at multiples, which are the numbers that we obtain after we have multiplied these 2 numbers, or more than 2, it can be 3 or 4. I hope that one is also clear. And then we are coming to the number 6. We are looking at the first 4 multiples of 6. And we shall begin with 0. That is 6 times 0, which will give us 0. 6 times 1, which will be 6. 6 times 2, which will be 12. 6 times 3, which will give us 18. Which will give us 18. We are going by the question first 4 multiples. So these are the first 4 multiples. The first one, the second one, the third one, and the fourth one. So the first 4 multiples of 6 is 0, 6, 12, and 18. These are the numbers that we have obtained after multiplying at least 2 factors. I hope it's also clear. Okay, since multiples and factors, they go hand in hand, so I would also like to introduce to you to the subtopic also, factors. Okay, and like in multiples, now we are going to look at factors. So in factors are the 2 numbers that we multiply to get the multiple. Remember, in our previous subtopic it was multiples, and we have said multiples is the number that we obtain after multiplying at least 2 numbers. Now here, factors, we are going to look at the 2 numbers that we are going to multiply in order to get the multiple. Hope is clear. So, for example, we have 2 times 5, we get 10. 2 times 6, we get 12. 3 by 4, we get 12. So, factors, we have said factors are the 2 numbers. So these are what we call factors. These 2 numbers that you have multiplied to get this 10. These 2 numbers you have multiplied to get the 12. So these are what we call the factors. The 2 numbers that you multiply to get the multiple. And in our first example, and before I continue, factors, we can also call them divisors. They are also called divisors. So a question can come, you may be asked, either divisors or the factors, it's the same thing. So if you are told to look for the for example, you are told you are told to look for the factors of 10. A question can come and you are asked to look for the factors of 10. So we can have said factors are also called the divisors. So we are going to look at which numbers can we multiply to get 10, or which numbers can be divided by 10 completely without a remainder. So first of all, we have number 1, because 1 times 10 we get 10. And then we have number 2. 2 times 5 we get 10. We cannot have number 3, but we can have number 5, because 5 times 2 we get 10. And then the 10 itself, because 10 times 1 is 10. Hope it's clear. Also, you can be asked to give the factors of 25. So, the first number we have number 1, because 1 times 25 we get 25. And then we have 5, that is 5 times 5 we get 25. And then we have 25, that is 25 times 1. And then another question, you may be asked to give the first 3 factors of 8. First 3. The first 3 factors. Of 16. So we are going to look at the numbers that you can multiply in order to get 16, or the numbers that can divide 16 without a remainder. So the first number is 1, because 1 times 16 we get 16. And then we have number 2, because 2 times 8 we get 16. And then we have 4, that is 4 times 4 we get 16. And then we have 8, because 8 times 2 we get 16. And then we have 16. So we have listed all the factors of 16, but the question only wants the first 3. So you are going to pick the first 3, that is 1, 2, and 4. So these are the first 3. So you will go according to the question. Some question needs the all factors, and some question only needs some few factors. So our question here, it needs only 3 factors. So you are just going to pick the first 3, that is 1, 2, and 4. Hope it's clear. We are going to our second example. And in our second example, you are told to list the our question wants us to list the first 4 factors of 20. So before picking the first 4, we are going to list all the factors of 20. That is, all the numbers that can divide 20 without a remainder, and all the numbers that you can multiply to get 20. So it will be 1, because 1 times 20 will get 20. And then 2 times 10 will get 20. And then 4 times 5 will get 20. And then 5 times 4 will get 20. And then 10 times 2 will get 20. And then lastly we have 20. 20 by 1, it will be 20. Also, if you take 20 divided by 1, it will be 20. 20 divided by 2, it will be 10. 20 divided by 4, it will be 5. 20 divided by 5, it will be 4. 20 divided by 10, it will be 2. That is without remainders. Don't pick the numbers that have got remainders. Pick only the numbers that have no remainders. So we go back to our question. We have already listed all the factors of 20. That is 1, 2, 4, 5, 10, and 20. But our question wants us to list only the first 4. So you're going to pick only the first 4. That is 1, 2, 4, and 5. So our first 4 factors of 20 is 1, 2, 4, and 5. Hope it's clear. We are going to our third example. And you can be given a question to list Okay, in our third example, you can also be asked to list the last 3 factors of 20. So, before listing the last 3 factors of 20, you are going to list all the factors of 20. That is, all the numbers that you can multiply to get 20, or all the numbers that you can divide by 20 without getting a remainder. So it will be 1, because 1 times 20 is 20, and then 2 times 10 we get 20, and then 4, because 4 times 5 we get 20, and then 5 times 4 we get 20, and then 10, because 10 times 2 will get 20, and then 20, because 20 times 1 will get 20. So we have already listed all the factors of 20. So the question wants us to give out only the last 3 factors. So the last 3 factors, that is the last 3 numbers, that is 5, 10 and 20. So these are the last. Remember, we are going by these keywords here, the last and the first. So you can be asked whichever way. If you are asked the first, you are going to list all of them, and then you count the first ones. And then if you are told to list the last, you are going to list all of them, and then you just list the last one. Okay, I have some homework for you, and there are 5 questions. Question 1. Write the next 6 multiples of 10. Write the next 6 multiples of 10. Question 2. Write the first 5 multiples of 3. Write the first 5 multiples of 3. Question 3. Fill in the missing multiples. That is the multiple of 5. We have 15, dash 25, dash 35, dash. We are going to fill in the missing multiples. And then multiples of 3, we have 18, 21, dash, dash. So you are going to fill in the gaps. And then question 4, list the first 2 factors of 12. List the first 2 factors of 12. Question 5, list the last 2 factors of 10. List the last 2 factors of 10. Okay, we have come to the end of our lesson, and thank you for your time. We shall meet the next lesson. Thank you.
This is our YouTube channel. We will be interacting with you, and whenever you have time, you can ask questions. At times we'll be going online, we'll be going live, and we could chip in and help their needs. Therefore, I'd just like to request all of you, be safe. God loves all of us so much.
Girls and boys, everybody give and share.